Welcome back to Stroke Warrior Radio's Survivor Interviews, and actually it's a joint collaboration with a good friend of Stroke Warrior Radio, Louise Harris with Stronger Than Stroke. Hey, Louise, how you doing?
Hey Ralph, I'm well. I'm really well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Best I've done in a while.
Good.
Um, let's go back. I love talking to you because our conversations are always so frank and deep. Um, let's go when you first joined us. We heard your stroke story and we've talked a little bit about the road that followed. I want to go deeper today. What recovery really looks like. What nobody told us, what we figured out the hard way. And you and I have been, I guess, the biggest thing we have in common is that we're single and we're in recovery without care partners. So that's a big deal. There's not a lot of
Totally.
support there. So let's start with what surprised you the most post-stroke, and I'm not talking just in the first year. What keeps surprising you as it goes along?
I think more than anything, the understanding of what the hell has happened to my body. And on recovery journey, that's the only way you learn what the hell you've got to do to get it right. So
Yeah.
what I'm
How, how,
I
how long
bless
ago
anyone.
did you have your
Sorry.
how long ago did you have your stroke again?
March 2023. So I'm just over
Okay.
3 years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What what did you discover about yourself that you didn't expect?
The resilience that I've got. I've always, Ralph, like you said, we're individuals, we're single, we don't have that massive amount of family, doing everything. And when I'm on that, what I want to say about that, this is something I've learned. I'm not sure on whether being in the position that I'm in, not having the support, has made me do better. Because if you want to eat, you got to get up and eat. No one's going to come knocking on your door going, your dinner. Doesn't work like that when you're on your own. So that's one thing that I'm actually seeing right now personally as a blessing,
Yeah.
because having stroke or living inside a stroke body, I've started to change the way that my brain thinks about it. So I'm no longer a stroke survivor. I was never a stroke victim. They're the ones that don't make it. But I see myself as someone that experienced stroke. And I'm be well. Be well is a big thing. Be well is, I don't tell people that I'm not well. Do you know what I mean? If
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
asks me, how are you? No matter what the truth is, I'm well. That's my brain convincing and speaking to my own body. You're well. I'm well. I'm not connected yet fully, but I'm work in progress. And I believe the mindset works, Ralph.
Yeah, it does. I think it does too. I think one of the things too is you there, I mean, we believed in ourselves before,
Yes.
in our businesses or our families, that kind of stuff. But there's a different belief now. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's a deeper belief in ourselves and
Yeah.
our spiritual beliefs. I think and it's a belief in other people too that can help us.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I didn't ask for much help from other people before. I could, if you wanted it done right, you did it yourself.
Yeah.
But but now it's um, those past assumptions are different, aren't they?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, we
Do you know?
have to what you have to figure out entirely on your own, to
Yes.
some extent. Um, and it's a trial and tribulation, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I see your post on social media, and it's like, you do the step exercises, and
Yeah.
looking at them from a year ago and today, they're way different.
Yeah.
It's hard to figure that out on your own.
Well, the main word, isn't it, after stroke is that the repetition, the doing every day, which we don't feel like it, and I don't do it every day. But what I'm starting to realize is the importance of it because it's not about what we can see, it's about what's going on the inside. And every time you move that arm or hand or whatever, every day in the same way, every day, and never do less than 10, is because every time you do that every day, it's like building the wall. And no one can say how long it's going to take for the wall to get completed, whether it be a year, under a year, 2 years. But what that is going to lead to is that working again naturally, because that's how you do it.
Yeah. I think too that and I think you've been through this as well, especially with NIH. What There's a bunch of assumptions um, that are based on misinformation or lack
Mm.
of information. Um, what are those? Can you kind of define some of the assumptions that you had to learn were incorrect? For example, they told us that this is good as it's going to get,
Oh,
which
I've had that.
yeah, that's bullshit. That's
Yeah.
an assumption that they told us, but it's not true. So I mean, there's I'm never going to be the same. I'm never going to be able to do this. I'm never going to be able to do that. That negativity needs to be overcome. How did you get to that point?
Like you said, I was, prior to stroke, I had this stubborn personality. um, so my knee, let's use the knee, for example. My knee, they stood me up in hospital and I watched my own knee go backwards. And after the third time of being asked to stand up and stand tall with a rubber band leg, that watched my knee go right backwards and touch the bed behind me, my brain said, "You're going to hurt that knee. Like, who can do that without stroke? You can't. You're going to hurt that
Yeah,
knee." So there was my first point, and I hate to be rude, but that day I had 3 physios with me in the hospital, and they were the ones giving me that instruction. I'm not a physio, but my brain knew you're hurting me. So I shouted at them, "Stop telling me to stand up tall." I wanted to say some other words too, but it was, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that if they did that to themselves and saw their own knee do that, that they're hurting you. So I don't know why, right there, I take my hat off and I give all the love and gratefulness to everybody that works within the medical world. But we know, Ralph, that how they've learned is from a book, and what a book tells them is the way it works. Yeah,
yeah,
we we are brain injured people. Our brains are not broken; they're injured, and they can't work how that works out of a book. You can't write a book for this. So I go back as again, all neurologists. I've got so much gratitude for the people that work in it. But it's when you're living it, you take notice of it because what you're being told half the time doesn't match what you're going through.
Yeah,
I hate, the ball buster on it. I'm not dissing that, but so a lot of assumptions back to the knee, being told that's as good as it gets, Louise, and you get used to it. No, no, I don't believe that.
yeah. There's a fight within us to accept what our fate is, if you will. We believe that what they've told us. Well, I let me put it this way. I Medical people are not on a pedestal. They are not the wherewithal and the everything. The We are the captains of our own team. That's one thing you did. You became your own captain. You fought for yourself, and that I finally learned that after a long time. I think one of the things that we allow the medical profession to do is when people think of recovery, they picture a finish line. Um, there is no finish line. Unfortunately, being brain injured, um, there is no finish line.
Yeah,
It's a daily occurrence.
you're injured, but the brain that we're talking about there has got the capacity to make another highway because they're never going to be able to use the highway that got injured again. But it can make another highway. And when I said about the knee, the day that I got told that's as good as it gets, I've got the left leg's fine and still working. I'd look at it and think, no, I wouldn't accept it. Look, I'm to my right side of my body. I'm like, you did it once, you're going to do it again. And I'm going to find a way to do it.
Where is How is recovery different now than it was early on?
For me, again, we can only talk personally, can't we? But I can say I've gone through since March a harder recovery than I've had since hospital. It's just got so hard. But let me know. It's got harder. I get out breath quicker. Like it's all, I could sit here and tell you it's all negative compared to earlier. But it's got to get harder before it gets easier. So what's happening with me is March. I forced myself to walk around the block because I still can't walk at long distance at all. Um, but the weather was changing. Look, I've been stuck in the house. I'm like, I've had enough. I've had enough. Walk around the block, forced myself, did it that day. But look, I'm cocky. Look, woke up the next day, thought, oh, I don't feel too bad. Did it again. Next day, did it. I did it for 4 days in a row. There you go. Look, kicking myself up the arse. Woke up on day 5 and my right leg had gone like the wet noodle that it used to be, completely not connected to my body. And just that's how I described it, a wet noodle. So I thought, oh my God, what have I done to myself? But what had happened is I didn't realize, but I had got high tone, which I believe is when the brain gets injured, it's amazing the brain automatically like puts a scaffolding up, like, whoa, let's put this up so she don't fall. So I thought I was making really good progress. I thought, oh, it's hard, it's back. The leg's not caving in. That's where it was. And then the 4 days walking took me right back to no control, the wet noodle. What had what had happened is I forced my brain, forced it to go into that. Like then 4 days walking, my brain recognized, oh, she can do this. So she doesn't need the scaffolding anymore. So in regards to that, what I did is push myself through and got a positive reaction neurologically inside my head. And that's what happened. Forced 3 steps backwards with the noodle leg, but my brain had moved on to a different level of recovery. So when you've got high tone, it's good to keep going, repeat, because even with high tone, you're setting the patterning of how to move in your brain. Me being the stubborn girl that wanted more, Ralph, forced it upon
Yeah.
myself. So since March, my recovery has been so much harder. I'm having to be more selective about the quality of movement. I have to use my stick again more than I did before. But it is because every single move I make, my brain is taking the photograph of that snapshot. So every day that the pattern's got to be the same. But I just want to add to the end of that is that basically since March, I'm coming on in leaps and bounds. It's harder, but I will recover my walking completely.
Well, and that's one of the things I respect about you is that the the what am I going to call it? The understanding. Oh, there you go. That's one of the things I respect about you is the understanding of that when that march happens, when that noodle
Yeah.
happens, you don't get down on it. I mean, yeah, it hurts. You get angry, but you look at, and I think we both do this. We have to set ourselves limits. We still
Yeah.
need to do the
Yeah.
repetitiveness. We still need to do the consistency. But now it's think about limits. We have to limit a little bit. Maybe not
Oh
walk
yeah.
4 days in a row, you know, maybe
No,
walk one
I
day a
haven't
week.
I haven't been able to walk that round that block since I did it back in March. So, but I'm walking. I am walking every day, barefoot as well. I've gone barefoot. So
Oh,
yeah, no, I'm doing some walking outside barefoot on the grass. Um, but then that's me, that woohoo stuff where I've looked into the electricity in the grass. But you see that I've seen people that have got those like readers or something. If they stand on the concrete, it's different
right.
to what it is when you're on the grass. So grounding, isn't it? So I've started that. And I've also, this is just yesterday, I decided I need to put the weight through my heel, not like on your toes, when you
Oh,
put your
yeah,
foot.
yeah.
So that's what I mean. I go very slow. So I move one foot and I consciously think about the weight through the heel. I did that just yesterday. Every time I moved, the weight, I needed to know the weight was through the heel. I woke up this morning. It's the first time that I've felt that I've got a hamstring. So my brain recognizes my hamstring. I
Nice.
couldn't
Very
believe,
nice.
yeah.
I
So,
think, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so it is the power of just keep going. As much as I tell you, I have those days. I don't want to do a bleak thing.
Well, it's kind of how do you want to call it? Balancing honesty with the forward motion. I can
Yeah,
or can't do it, or I can do this much. Instead of
yeah,
saying I can't, I say I can do this much, not that much.
yeah,
And that's being honest with yourself. It's kind of a what do you call it? The goal's truth, not a highlight reel.
But it's what you're saying as well is it's better to do something rather than nothing. If you can't, so I'm now applying in my life when I do my exercises, because look, my walking, just focusing on the walking, that's my exercise. But I've got arm exercises that I'm doing. And it was only from buddying up with another survivor, a Caribbean lady in Tobago, she is. She had a stroke and she recovered in 4 years. So she's now showing people, what she did. So
Okay.
I do arm exercises and stuff. And the rule, she said the rule for her is not less than 10. Because every time you do that particular movement, arm exercise, every time you do it, you can't see inside the brain, but there's electric current running, you know, and
Yeah.
every time you do it, it's a signal, the brain. So I never do less than 10 because 10 each day, look, by the end of the week, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
without noticing, I have had since I've started this, I do get some days that I do 20. I might be knackered after. I might be absolutely like my brain. I find it hard to string a sentence together after, but something's happening up there.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the things that we go through is there's a there's some points that we go through some grief. How do you deal with that? I mean, there's grief over what we were, what we could do yesterday, what we could do, what we want to do tomorrow. There's there's it took a long time for me to understand that grief gets in the way.
I I have to be honest now. Then grief. It's only the last 3 weeks that I've been doing that. And what do I think I'm grieving for? I think my grief is more frustration of how I used to be able to do it without it being that heavy.
Yeah.
So grief of it not being as easy as it was. How do I deal with it? I've sat in a nice comfy chair in the garden, probably poured myself a dry cider and cried my, excuse my, can you bleep this? Cried my fucking eyes out.
Well, I
I've
believe that.
I've just literally let it go. I'm not holding on to it. But on the flip side of that, Ralph, by the time I'm exhausted, because when you do that, when you've had, so look, the cider, I don't normally drink, look, I've had a stroke. Um, but I was treating myself. And I felt, because I felt so emotional about it all, I deserve it. I deserve this drink. So I enjoyed my cider. Like I said, felt comfy, sat in my chair, and I was just looking at the sky. And I guess it was a moment of feeling sorry for myself. At the end of it, I prefer my life now. I prefer my life. And do you know why, Ralph? Because I get that moment to look at that bird that's chirping around me and actually really looking at that bird and seeing how beautiful it is. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not thinking about how it was before, because before I never got chance to stop and hear the bird. You know what I mean? There was so much that I didn't see, I didn't hear. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this second chance. I'm grateful that I'm not a victim of stroke. And I'm grateful. And I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep on. And I want to show the world, yes, you can recover. But I'm not going to lie. It's the bloody hardest thing in it's hard.
Well, yeah, it's the most difficult thing we've ever done, but like for me, it's become the most rewarding. I found
But
out so much more about myself. Um,
yeah,
I think it's kind of weird. I call it mind twists. I have to go through these mind gymnastics where
yeah.
I think, oh my God, this is so bad. Where have to stop and say, well, wait a minute. Oh my God, this is another lesson I've learned. It's all about the attitude and the think what you decide you put in your own head.
Don't you think it makes us we're exceptionally aware,
There you go.
exceptionally aware. And do you know what? That's a privilege. That's a privilege.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, and one of the things that I have to repeat to myself every so often is there's a very high percentage of people that have strokes that did not live.
Oh,
So
huge.
I have been rewarded somehow in
Right.
my life that I'm still here. I
Oh,
have
amen.
to, you have to remind yourself of these little things every so often.
That
Um,
is. Um, I don't like hearing another stroke survivor refer to themselves or anyone around as a stroke victim
yes,
because the victims didn't make it. That's a stroke victim, and
agreed.
you're right. We are. It's like we are the chosen people.
I like that.
We really,
I like that. Yeah,
we really are. That's how easy a tiny little blood clot can kill you.
yeah,
And
true.
we're here.
Well, and I think one of the things what I've been going through a lot lately because, as I told you, I had some health issues. Was um, there's long-term recovery. I going through the health issues. It's like, damn it, 10 and a half years. I'm still going through this crap.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the reality we have to learn to live with. And I still struggle with it. I mean, even even though my recovery in my mind's become remarkable, um, I still struggle with the negativity of everything. The gaps in uh, understanding the gaps in positive things happening. It's the long-term effects. I mean, you're 3 years, so you still go through those things at times that
Oh,
are,
yeah.
yeah, it's tough to, it's a daily fight sometimes. I mean, sometimes you
Well,
just don't want to do shit, you know.
you have to, not you, we all have to retrain our brain. And
Yes,
the one thing is, the world we live in today, it's easier to be negative than it is to be
yeah,
positive. But again, it's mindset. And that is one of the hardest things because look, I've got the page. I know that I get survivors that come on my page, look at something, whatever. Um, there are some that are in a good headspace that will reach out and say, "Oh, I'm not moving like that yet," but at least the language they're using is that my post has given them hope.
yes,
But I can see the ones that drop away. And I know, for like not completely, but my guess to that is survivors that will look thinking, oh, well, it's all right for her. Because you know me, Ralph, it's my personality anyway, but I keep that childish, bouncy around, smiley. That's who I am. That's who I was before stroke. And I'm not allowing the experience of stroke to take it away. I am my
yeah,
father's daughter and I'm going to carry on being who I am. What does that boil down to? I could sit here now and tell you all of the adversities that I've been through in life, and they're horrific for the age that they hit me. Why do I want to do that? Because if I did, all I'm doing is telling my brain to keep remembering all that shit.
Yeah.
No, I want to train my brain that no matter what life throws at me, there's a positive. And you know what? 99.9% of my time, I'm laughing at myself, Ralph. And I'm now going to say something, whether it's appropriate or not. Since I had stroke, I have become an exceptionally windy woman, right? And what I mean by that, yes, if someone makes me laugh or something makes me laugh, I could be in the middle of a shop. And what happens? I fart.
You
Right.
know, I think too, one of the things it's and you and I are again being individuals, not a
Yeah.
group. We have to find being single or whatever without care partners. We have to find the right people. It's not only our
Oh, God.
attitude, we have to find the right people with the attitudes we need. I mean,
So,
look at what you do. Strong, stronger after through stronger than stroke. Your podcast. I mean, that's
yeah.
something that you share, but somebody shared with you first that got you to think, I need to share my story too. You know, but
Yeah.
whoever you talk to first got you in a more positive place. So we have to choose the people we surround ourselves with.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like every character, though, isn't it? Prior to stroke, it's were you a negative, because people like one of my sons, oh, I tried to get him to say positive stuff, but do you know what? So he's a born moaner. Um, so it's that, isn't it? It's personality as well. Were you that way before? And like you said, there are times having the right people around you. So, as you know, with me, I can't be in a room with lots of negative people for a long time. And the reason isn't because they choose to sit in negativity, but it steals my energy. It
There you
completely
go.
zaps me. Well, you know yourself, you can be in the best of moods, but if you go around people that aren't, by the end of it, they put you in a bad mood. So no, so it zaps my energy, and what I know, I need my energy because recovery takes energy.
Yeah, absolutely. What what do you think people should I don't like shooting on people, but um how has your sense of who you are, what you value, what you're here for shifted?
What I now since stroke, because of what I've created, as in filming my exercise, putting up, I've just got this huge desire now to just help other stroke survivors.
Yeah, yeah, true.
That's feel the communicate instead of like all of the medical world, because at the end of the day, if there was a pill that fixed everything, we'd all take it. Um, but knowing for me that avenue is not going to work. So mine is, and it is that the happier, the happier you can be. Like even music, look at me moving. It's because I put music on and I just sway and move
Yeah,
because that's made my shoulders stronger. Just move. It's just movement, and music is my thing. I love
yeah,
music.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Is there I think one of I think the reasons that you and I do what we do, sharing is because although we discuss some of the difficulties, what we really discuss is what there is hope for. There is hope. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have it for a long time. There was a couple very dark moments that
Yeah.
we we had to get through and find that hope. These little
Yeah.
things add up, don't they? Don't they? I mean, and that's the other thing. We have to recognize those little things that add up. You know, maybe
Absolutely.
today I could walk for 4 days, but every day that you walk that the next day, I
Yeah.
mean, there was a positive. You did better. But since then, you've had to learn limits. You've had to, it's understanding what you're learning as you go through it all.
Do you know what? You're right in that one of the hardest things with stroke is you can have a path of every day feels good, and then suddenly you hit the wall, where you want to get up, but your leg won't move. You want to do that, but like to move is just so someone's reset the concrete overnight. um, and for that for me, look, that part of it, that was hard to get used to. So hard to get used to, but then you have to give into it and realize that when your body is saying, I feel like concrete say, that's is telling you you need to rest. But then,
Absolutely true.
and if
What?
you rest
What?
up, don't feel guilty. A few days later, you're back better than you were the day before, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we have to learn to recognize that. Um,
Yes.
how is your, I'm going to kind of wrap us up a little bit here. How has
Yeah.
your definition of a meaningful life shifted?
Like I said before, I prefer this one. There's more depth to it.
Great word, depth. Great word. And I love that. That is fantastic. Um,
Walk slowly and smell the roses, smell the flowers.
tell our listeners a little bit more about Stronger Than Stroke.
Stronger Than Stroke is a podcast that I started, or I should say a brand, because there will be a website coming. But at the moment, it's a podcast. Comes out every Thursday, and I created Stronger Than Stroke, and my co-host is Myra, who's an American lady living in London, and she's left side affected by the stroke. I'm right side affected. And I just have to say that when she reached out to me on Instagram, she literally reached out saying, if you ever want to chat, just support. And it's like God put us together. It's amazing. So we get on very well, and the podcast started in January. It's running smoothly, and we just talk stroke, whatever's gone on. We have a giggle. We're real, raw, and authentic. And coming soon, we're going to start our interviewing.
Nice. Very nice.
Well, you coming on the podcast?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to. Anything else you want to add for today?
Just keep on going.
Yeah.
Keep on
Amen.
going. Is do not give up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Louise, thank you so much. As always, it's a
Thanks.
pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to our next show.
Me too. Speak soon.
Talk to you soon.